Shift series. So I look forward to reviewing Lockheart Indigo today.
I changed it. Let me know if the music is good, guys. This is the first launch of the RTP YouTube channel. So is the music okay? Give me a sign in the chat.
It looks like the entire, like every mic can be, our volumes need to be higher.
I think the music is better now.
Yeah, I think it works now.
Okay, the music's okay. Music's okay, guys. So, Synchronic Games, had you introduce yourself, my guy?
Yeah, I think I have introduced, but maybe it was when the music was too loud. Hi, I'm Doug from Synchronic Games, Star Shift series. I look forward to testing out Lockhart, or reviewing Lockheart Indigo today with these guys.
All right.
And everybody already knows me. I'm the resident German. I'm working on the Dungeon Rummage franchise, and you know who I am. You already know.
All right. They say the co-host is quiet. What about now, guys? What about now? I'm sorry for the wonkiness. Music a little bit too loud. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Alright. Okay. Say something, guys. Say something.
Hey, what's up? I'm testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Can y'all hear them? Can y'all hear them?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Seeing if the volume is okay.
We gotta find that sweet spot, guys. We gotta find that sweet spot. Okay, it's getting good. Okay, so I did have my end down because I didn't want an echo, but it seems like we're not echoing. But everything is all good. Voice is okay. Music is okay. So, Simple Gaming, introduce yourself, man. Introduce
Man,
yourself.
what you mean? I already did.
Okay, you already introduced yourself. Good. We don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, buy Origins, follow the Kickstarter. Let's go. But if you haven't already followed his Kickstarter, definitely follow his Kickstarter and support Dungeon Ramen Origins. It's a really cool looking game with a lot of cool looking materials coming along with it. So let's cut to the chase. We have reviewed Lockheart Indigo, which is an RPG Maker MV game by Harmless Games. It is a murder mystery game. So let me pull up the footage. That way you guys could see some gameplay of the game. And it is free. So the backstory of this game is an 8-bit psychological thriller. Beachz Sumners, a young, cynical detective, looks into the murder of wealthy robotics tycoon Evan Volkov. Hired by Ava Volkov, the victim's widow, Beachz must untangle the lies whispered within the Volkov estate and clear Aya's name before the killer or suspicion claims another life. So that's the backstory of the game. And the reason why we have these episodes because, you know, all three of us have played the title. Before we go into the podcast, I'd see some chats saying, where is One Man Indie? One Man Indie is no longer a part of the podcast anymore. So it's just us three. Don't really want to go into details on stream, but you know, after the stream, if you want, you know, to know or want some details or the reason, I'm pretty sure you could question one of us. But yeah, it's just us three right now. So it's not going to change anything. It's still going to be fire content and some nice, you know, games that we're going to play with great reviews. So, all right. So, with that out the way, I'm going to ask Cychronic Games. He was the one that chose this game for the week. What he thought about the game. What his impressions. Don't get into the bad stuff yet, but what's your impressions about the game overall?
I liked the game. This type of game isn't a game I would normally play on my own for fun, but I did beat this game. I played it all the way through. I did like it. I liked I found it by looking for the tag robots. I was looking for something with robots in it. This definitely does have some robots. But it ended up being, it's kind of like a murder mystery game. The battle system is more like a dialogue system of like your skills are like persuasion, different stuff like that, to try to find out who this killer is. And yeah, I overall I had a pretty good impression of it. I liked the custom styles on it and everything like that too. Definitely 8-bit feeling to it.
Nice. All right. So, Simple Cowl, tell us about what your first impressions of the game.
Simple what now?
Simple Cowl.
What is that?
Simon Cowell, your Simon Cowell's son. Come on, man.
I have no fucking idea who that is. Anyway, yeah, game seemed good. I'm not really a fan of any part of it specifically. Like I'm not the retro fan. You all know that. And I'm also not really someone who plays like mystery games or like, solving murder cases and whatnot. It's not really what I do in my free time. But the game is really well put together. and I haven't found like any weirdness or like bad eventing or whatever. Like everything fit really well together. Like the music was fitting, the art style fit well together, and the color scheme as well. Like it seemed to me like important NPCs are like more colored than others. Could be wrong though. I'm not entirely sure, but it looked like the main cast is like colored, right? So you got the robot with the pink hairs, and even the portrait in that big room. It looked like the main protagonists were colored portraits, while the others were like gray. I don't know, but yeah, the game is good. Like especially for price tag of free, this is a very good pick.
Yeah, I noticed that about the game myself when I played it. You know, the colors and stuff, the color stands out. Like, you know, the non-important NPCs and the important NPC. We definitely, you know, see the telltale signs of that. But as you guys know, I played the game yesterday. I live streamed it and I actually completed it. I don't think I 100%'d it because I did notice I didn't open up the door with the garden key. But overall, my first impressions of the game, I think the game was well designed, given the fact that it was made with RPG Maker. You know, for some reason, a lot of people don't think, you know, you could design a game like this with RPG Maker. But normally, these type of games are common within the engine. True fact, I did wanted to create like a mystery exploration puzzle game with the RPG Maker engine instead of, you know, a traditional turn-based RPG. So, like you guys already know, we played the game. We played the game from start to finish. Not sure about simple gaming, but I know me and Cychronic completed it. So I'm gonna ask you, Cychronic. Okay, so you already told us your simple, you know, your first impressions of the game. What about the game did you like? Like, what stood out to you? The creativity of the game. You know, what stood out to you the most? Like, to indicate like this is a good game.
I liked the. I actually really liked the quote unquote battle system with the skills and the the way that worked. I really liked that. There is one thing though that I do have one small criticism though of it is that it is more linear. It is more linear than it could be. Meaning like I would have kind of liked to see a little bit of where maybe your negotiation with somebody fails, and then you might get a different ending or something like that for replayability. But as far as like how it mechanically worked, I thought it was a decent alternative to having a traditional battle system for something like this. And it also had that nice cinematic feel, with you could see that like a more detailed version of the pixel character while this is going on, and I don't know, I thought it was cool or a little different.
Nice. I definitely feel you on that explanation about what you think about the game. You know, me personally, this game definitely hit a lot in many ways, especially the battle system. You know, the battle system, aka interrogation scene. So, Simple Gaming, I'm gonna ask you what stood out with this game that you liked the most, my guy. If you like to give your part of it, I mean, let us know, brother. Let us know.
Yeah, of course. When do I ever not? The best part was definitely for me the visuals. Like not the walking around on the map part. That's just 8-bit Game Boy style. Not really my thing. But the scenes, like the combat scene itself, how it looked, right? The the characters and their movements and the facial expressions of the people you interrogate. I think that looked really good. And I think that's the best part of the game. Like, I have some gripes with it though. Like, as Psychronic said, the way the combat, quote unquote, worked was actually a negative point for me, because there's no, like, it's a murder mystery game, right? So I'm thinking I'm here to solve a mystery, and my choices matter, is what I would be thinking when downloading such a game. But in this game, it doesn't. Like, there's a set sequence of skills you have to use, or set skills in general. Like, the same skills work on the same target all the time, right? So there's no
Yes.
failing. Right, you cannot fail. If you fail the interrogation, you can just do it again. There's no punishment or anything. There's no branching path. Nothing. Like, there's like, this guy needs this skill to reduce his HP or nerf or whatever it was called, and that's it. That's how it works. There's no choices here. There's just a set sequence of things you have to do in order to see the ending of the game. And that's it. And that's, for me, not how a murder mystery game should go. This is a fixed story, and choices don't matter. And I think that kind of dragged it down for me a little bit.
Yes, I would actually agree with that. The thing that I think that what would have enhanced this game in this respect is if there was some branching arcs, like you guessed the killer and you guessed wrong, and something like something happened different at the end, and then that would give you some kind of like, well, what if I did this? What would have happened different?
Exactly.
Whereas when I played this, I know that the way I played it the first time is the only way that you're going to be able to play
Exactly,
it.
and the entire game plays like that. Like, you interrogate this guy, and then it opens up a way, and you find a key, and you have to open that door to get to the next guy. Like, there's no freedom of, like, exploration or random, like, sequence of things you have to find. It's always gonna be this path you have to follow. So it's really more of a, like, storytelling game than a murder mystery solving, because there is no solving here. The game solves itself as long as you follow the steps it wants you to follow.
Yep, that's true.
So will you guys agree that if you failed the interrogation, it should be game over?
No, it shouldn't be game over.
No. Not at all.
It should not be game over.
Okay.
It should be that you get a different result at the end. Like if you had to do everything right to get the best ending, kind of thing. But like, you could still get a decent ending or whatever.
And if you get it wrong, maybe the suspect leads you on a false path, right? So you get a false conclusion. You guessed the murder wrong, and now you jailed the wrong guy or something like that. That's what I understand a mystery solving game to be like. I mean, it's not bad. You can do it like that. Like, you can absolutely have like a fixed story game about a murder mystery. That's not a bad thing. But like, it's a little bit misleading. Like, it's not what you would think about a game that's about solving a murder mystery, right? The most of these games are usually, I guess, point and click. And most of these do have these different outcomes, and they make it so your choices actually like make a difference in the game, and that's what you would expect from a game like this, but that's not how it works.
Gotcha. So, when I first started playing this game, it kind of reminded me of, I don't know if you guys play LA Noire.
I've heard of it, but I haven't played it.
I only heard of it.
It's an open world game, but you're a police, you're a detective, and you actually solve crimes. You actually interrogate, and you have different answers. And with that game, you got different endings based on, your interrogation skills from the beginning to the end. So the outcome is different based on how the interrogation went. With
Exactly.
this game, I was just visualizing how the developer created this, like the different conditional branches that has, from inside of the engine, the different conditional branches. What if they say this, it open up this branch, and they say this and open up this, then the outcome is different, and how NPCs react to you could be different too. But the game did feel a little bit repetitive.
Why are you looking
When
through
it-
the couch? I heard you could add 5 boneless wings to a burger for just $1.
Hold
at
on.
Applebee's, and I
What
swear
the
I dropped
world?
a quarter in here.
What the world? Oh no. Oh my gosh. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, there
Looks
was
like you're on your phone
I had the
microphone now,
I
I
had the
guess.
window open and it was playing the ad. But I apologize, guys. This is my first time doing this. I am a newbie. But anyways, like I was saying, the game felt repetitive, after a bit, because every time you interrogated somebody, you got a key. I also kind of compared it to how Resident Evil, when you find the keys to open up the certain doors, like the spade key, the heart key, the club key, this game kind of reminded you of that too, but without the zombies and stuff, but with robots. The game, to me, it has a lot of potential, but I think the interrogation scenes could have been better. Because you don't really get the clues that you need by gameplay or by the evidence to actually ask the right question. It did feel like sometimes you made an educational guess when you chose to answer.
Yeah, it's just trial and error, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Trial and error.
Yeah. I feel like the game had a little bit of an identity crisis sometimes. Yeah, I feel like the developer tried and wanted to make it so choices matter. And I think you can see, because you can level up your interrogation skills, right? It gives you a level up message when you find these books. But it's not really a level up. You're just getting exactly the phrases and the choices you need for the next interrogation.
Yeah. You unlock
So
different skills.
I was like, why does this level up? Like, my choices
Well-
don't matter anyway. I'm just trial and erroring my way through this.
Well, also the choices matter thing. It's not to be taken lightly, because I can see why a lot of people try to do it and then it doesn't happen, because you're compounding the amount of work you actually have to do to get.
Oh yeah,
to
absolutely,
get the game
absolutely.
even done.
Oh my god, choices matter is so much work. Like, I'm not saying they needed to do it. Like, the game is still good. It's just a little bit misleading when you see a murder mystery solving game and it doesn't play like one.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
are we at the rant part now? Can I rant or?
Not quite. We're not gonna rant.
Not
We're not gonna
quite.
rant on it now. We want to give the positive points to the developer first. So, what you guys think about the music?
I liked the music.
The music was pretty cool, right? It definitely fit the theme, like the Game Boyish looking theme with the mystery, the murder, the haunting, the robots and the haunted mansion. It definitely has that vibe. Like, something weird is going on, but you don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
all right. Let's get to the rant.
I get to say something
Yes,
about
sir.
the music
Yes, sir.
too?
Yes, sir.
Jesus Christ,
Yes,
man.
sir. Say
So
what you
good.
want to say, my guy.
So I don't really remember any specific music, but that's not really what you expect from an RPG Maker game anyway, I guess. So, but I think the music, like the whole like atmosphere in general, was done good, right? So you don't have like constant music playing. You also have scenes where there's silence, which were done well as well. Not like some other games where there's just constant silence for no reason. In this game, the music was done well. It was fitting for the scene it was played in. So that's pretty good already. Even though you don't really remember a specific track. Like, I don't expect you guys to have woken up this morning and had like a Lockheart Indigo song playing in your head.
No, I didn't get that impression either. But it also, the music did fit the scenes well, and it also had that 8-bit feeling to it, like the rest of the game, like the game's graphics, and it was all like it all felt like it was part of the same package, or so to speak.
That's usually a good sign for me. Like, for me personally, the only time when I really notice music is when it's bad. Like when it's really jarring and really not fitting the scene. That's where it stands out. When the music is done well, it melts into the scene. So unless you have like a master composer like Nintendo and fucking Zelda or whatever, that's as good as it gets, I believe. Like, you're not gonna have a music in your game that's gonna be left for ages to come. That's probably not gonna happen.
I'm trying.
Man, you can try, but you know how many tracks of games exist and they just get forgotten, like the moment you stop the game.
Yeah, certain games leave that impression, but even some RPG Maker games has good tracks, but
yeah, they have good music, but they don't. You don't get like Zelda levels of popularity music in your little indie game. That's just not gonna happen. It's not likely.
Man, y'all stay out my DMs, man. Good
I knew they would be blowing up your DMs,
like,
man.
For real. Oh my gosh. All right,
so, my podcast.
All right, so I mean, like visually, it's a lot of good stuff that you could say about this game. Visually, from the sprites to the design of the game, to the interrogation, to the scenes itself. You know, the developer did great scene creating. You know, having the sprites move around a bit, showing like the blood splatter, you know, blood all over the floors with the black and white perspective of the world building, and the important characters are colored in. You know, it definitely reminds you of one of those old school murder mystery TV shows, you know. But like all games, some games fall short and some games aren't perfect. So we are at the point of the podcast where we got all the good stuff out the way, and we need to talk about stuff that, you know, made us upset, probably what the developer should change or what they need to look out for the next game. And we're going to start with the guy that chose this game, Cychronic Games.
One thing that I was wondering about, and I don't want to think of it negatively, but I was wondering about it, is I noticed from your playthrough D7 that nothing happened after the credits was over, but on my game, the game continued after the credits was over, and it was kind of a confusing sequence to me because I didn't get it. I didn't get what was going on. There was, there's fogs over the screen. It has you waking up as a little girl and like wandering the mansion, but the mansion looks like it's in a different time. Like, I don't know whether it was more in the past or more in the future from the time that the detective was in there, and she's like, I can't sleep. I need Daddy to read me a story, and then you find the dad and go back to sleep. I'll be there to read you a story soon, and then you go back to the room, and then some dude appears in the doorway with now the sprite of the girl goes missing that was in the bed, and the dude is just standing at the door with like some kind of like weird looking face with blood all over him, and then that was the end. So I'm wondering about that. I don't know what that sequence was supposed to. I don't know what it was about. I don't know if it's setting up to some kind of sequel or something. But I got that after the credits, which I noticed you didn't get. So I'm wondering what that was. It'd be nice if the developer was around so we could know. But in any case, my gripes with the game. I enjoyed the game enough to play it all the way through, so I liked it. But yeah, the mostly just has to relate to it. It comes across like it's non-linear, but it's very linear. I would have made it a little less linear if it was me. And that's my main issue with it. I think that the pacing was fine. I think a little bit of the backtracking. Sometimes there's a lot of backtracking when you don't quite know where to go, and so I might, spend some time running through the mansion on all these 4 floors to find where I need to go next. And that can sometimes be a little bit like I'm chasing my own tail or running around in circles. But it wasn't enough of a deterrent to prevent me from enjoying the game. I would have liked to see just some different endings based on an ideal or non-ideal result. That would have been that's my main gripe. But it's not really a gripe. It's just if I had to critique, that's what I would change.
Okay, so dealing with the ending for you, you probably got the good ending or a secret
probably
ending.
like the true ending, I guess.
Yeah, because I
mean the game had they had a little bit of supernatural stuff in there, right? There was ghosts, and you had the ghost bow too.
Did you do anything with the ghost bow? Because I tried I didn't. I know for a fact I didn't go in every room. I didn't use the key for every room. Like I didn't use the garden key, like outside. I only used it on one door.
I did use the garden key outside. And
I didn't.
And what happens when you use that key is you talk to the gardener, or I think he's the guy that buries the bodies, and he works in the garden, and you do an interrogation of him, and then he opens the other side of the garden, and there's it's just a coffin though. The other side of the garden just has the coffin of the guy that just died, and like some dude, is saying like it's ready, that kind of like it's ready to be buried, but that's all that was all that occurred, but then I got that sequence after the credits, and so maybe that's what it unlocked. I don't know.
That's a good thing though for the developer. Replayability, try to get secret endings, and stuff like that. Maybe that was explained on the store page, but I didn't see anything like that hint a secret ending or whatnot. Maybe there should have been a message at the end. Not sure. So, all right, Simple Gaming, tell us what you didn't like about the game.
It's actually not too much this time. Like as I said, the game is really well put together for what it is. I thought the mansion was not exactly too big, but on the start page it says it has 100 rooms. And like, why is there 100 rooms? Why not just make like rooms that are more distinguishable from each other? Like the rooms in this game are fairly small, right? So it's just room. It goes by fast. But what ended up happening for me is like I most of the time just didn't know where anything is, because I have to go to 50 rooms to end up where I wanted to go. So I would have preferred less rooms and more distinguishable rooms instead, just to find my way around better, because you do a lot of running back and forth. Like as you already said, if you didn't quite know where to go, you end up running all over the place looking for what to click on next, basically. And that also ties into these stupid ass boxes everywhere, like in these couple of rooms where they have these it's not really a puzzle, right? You just have to push a box. It's pretty obvious what you have to do. It's not hard or anything, but why is it there? And they
puzzle.
reset. So you have to enter these rooms multiple fucking times and always have to push these boxes. Why? Why is this there? This doesn't add any gameplay. It's not challenging or intriguing or anything. It's just there to kind of annoy the player for some reason. I don't know. I think that made no sense.
It does get a little interesting though with the boxes when you get to a certain part of the game where the robots start chasing you.
It's a hindrance in that instance, yeah. But that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
I actually got knocked into a different screen when the robot attacked me.
That was the bug that, or I also encountered the bug that if the robot hits you when you're next to like the edge of a wall or something, you'll go through the wall and then it'll soft lock the game.
Yeah,
that happened. That happened to me like twice. Yeah,
that could happen pretty frequently. I mean, those are small rooms, right? So the chance of you trying to like run around the robot along a wall probably happens pretty frequently. But yeah, those boxes, man, I don't know, man. There's
these
better
boxes
ways
here.
to,
Oh man, yeah.
like, you have to do them so much when running around these 100 rooms. It's like, for me, it just doesn't add anything. Like, it's just a nuisance.
If they didn't reset, then yeah.
If they didn't reset, then there wouldn't be a problem, right? Then it's just some boxes. I mean, there's still no reason for them to be there.
But
why
did
the employees place them like that in the first place?
In some scenes, you have to like push the box, go in a different room, come back to go the different direction, and push the box a different way.
Yeah, I think I saw like the scene that's on the screen right now, where these 3 boxes are. Like I've seen you push these boxes so many times, and I was like, just watching the stream, I was like, why are these boxes there? Like this mansion is full of employees. Why are there boxes stacked in a way that prevent like crossing, like pathing across the room? Why? I think it just didn't fit the game. It didn't need to be there. But yeah, I think this game is heavily carried by the visuals in the interrogation combat system and the writing in general, though. Like, the characters are really well written. They all have their own personalities, and they act very differently from each other.
Yeah,
I think the game is heavily carried by that, and that's a good thing, right? It's more of a storytelling game than a murder solving game, and it shows during the gameplay. It's just a little, as I said, it's a little misleading to call it a mystery solving game when it's not really a solving game.
I mean, you are solving the mystery.
Yeah, but you are not. You as the player are not solving anything. Your character does, sure, but that's the story.
Yeah, I see what you mean with the Yeah, you right. I did feel like, the interrogation scenes were a bit random. Like for example, show power, authority. You get different questions on authority, but there's nowhere in the clues that you get would lead the player to choose power or heart within the story. It's like, you pick one, you get one right, or you don't.
Yeah,
you figure one is the obvious answer, but it's not.
You can tell most of the time if you do the read. Like, you could guess right most of the time. Like, it gives you a pretty good hint. But as you said, there's only one right answer at any given time, so it's trial and error, and there's no punishment for failing.
Yeah, if you fail, you can just interrogate him again.
Yeah, you just do it again.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah. So gameplay wise, I'm not really impressed. I think it could have been done better in the ways I described. But as a storytelling game, it works. Right. The characters are good. It's well animated. Looks great, and everything fit. It's just I guess I just went in with the wrong expectations because it's a murder solving game and it's not really.
Yeah. I
Or
agree.
mystery solving game, I guess.
I agree. And another thing that I didn't like was, it feels repetitive. It feels repetitive. Other than the story and the visuals, everything feels repetitive. Like, even when you interrogate different actors, it's the same thing. It's like the same thing.
It's always trial and error. It's like,
Trial
the
and
characters are
error.
different, but it's always boiling down to just pick, and if it doesn't work, do it again.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad for what it is. And,
it's good for a storytelling game, but it's not really good for a mystery solving game.
Yeah. Yo, what's up, DJ King? Thanks for stopping by.
One thing though, like, this game has a lot of blood for someone named Harmless Games. Just wanted to point that out.
Riggy says they go by
Fangsoft now. That makes a lot more sense after playing this game.
She's working on a new game unrelated to this one, so I don't think a sequel is in the works. I don't think it needs a sequel because, whoever was behind all this is no longer alive.
I mean, it depends. It depends on the ending scene Psychronic has gotten. Like, that's
yeah.
Like,
that's
maybe
weird.
it could be a sequel. She's the private eye detective, and she she gets another job, and it's a totally different. You could. I'm not saying like this is what they should do. I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to have sequelize it, you could. Yeah. You could do it like that.
And we also didn't really get any explanation for that supernatural stuff either. Like, why is there a ghost, and why is nobody questioning it?
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah,
like, it doesn't fit in there whatsoever. Like, why is there suddenly a ghost and a ghost bow, and what?
Well,
yeah, I try to use
the
ghost.
mansion is haunted.
Yeah, but it's never like explained why it is haunted or who is haunting it, or like nobody ever mentions anything about it. You just meet this ghost once and that's it.
And it's weird that the factory is inside the house. Like, you building all these robots inside the house. Like, why not have like a separate
have an entire
building?
factory in the backyard, man.
But hey, it's RPG Maker. It's RPG Maker. You can do whatever you want, what your heart tells you to do. You can do whatever. Use your imagination.
Yeah, whatever you can imagine, you can kind of try to create in your own way.
Yeah.
Only if you have enough plugins.
Oh, yes. Too many. Yes.
I mean, I did check out the developer. The developer is a really talented individual, and playing this game definitely takes me back to, like, the Game Boy, the DS era.
And it has the pretty much a Sin City like color scheme, right? The gray tones and the red. It's definitely a well-made game. Like, not even I can complain too much here, and I really, really like the characters in the interrogation scene. Like, for this pixel art to have this high amount of expressionable faces is pretty impressive to me. Like, every character has these very expressionable faces they make during the interrogation, right? They look shocked and sinister and whatnot. And I think that was really well made, and I think that and the writing really carries this game.
Yeah.
Like, gameplay is pretty weak on its own, but yeah, it gets carried by that.
Yeah. I mean, like, once you know the layout of the house and where to go, I think you'll do fine. And I feel like another improvement the developer could have done, if you explore a door already, like, it should show on the map where that exact door is at, like, that needs that particular key. Let's say you ran into, like, the creepy door. It should mark on your map where that creepy door is at, but it doesn't. So you're let's say 30 minutes, 40 minutes in the game, and you don't get the creepy key to the end of the game, you know, you're kind of running around in circles trying to find that door.
Yeah.
Especially on the third floor, like where they make the fourth floor, I think, where they make the robots at. I think it's the second floor. You know, you could easily go in circles. You could easily get lost.
Does Resident Evil do this though? I don't think it does, right? I'm not sure.
I think it shows you on the map where the door is at.
I'm not quite sure. I never noticed it. But that could be like, that's part of the like Resident Evil-ish gameplay, right? You find keys and then you move on to the next part. Like, I'm not sure. Does it actually like show the door and the right key on the map if you've seen the door before? I don't think.
No, it doesn't. You have to. The only way I remembered is because I've been in the room before, and then knew that, and then when I got the right key, I'm like, oh, there was a door for that in that room, but I just remembered it visually, but not. It doesn't actually have an indicator on the map.
Yeah, that's what the sound is on about. Like, it would be nice if you have seen the door before that it would show up on the map, so you don't have to run across all the fucking mansion again in order to find the room that you've seen in the beginning of the game.
Ace of
you
Aces.
need that key from.
Ace of Aces says in RE2 remake onwards.
They do. Okay. I only really played like one on the GameCube, and I played like Village, and I've not noticed it.
Yeah, I mean
remakes too. Old games.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice.
Okay,
I mean,
so
they
the
don't.
remakes too. Yeah, it would be nice because I mean, there's 100 fucking rooms. I'm not gonna remember where that stupid creepy door was. So I'm gonna run all over the place trying to look for it. So yeah, it would have been nice. Yeah.
The only Resident Evil remake I played was, I think, the second one. That's it. Anything else I ain't even touched. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
right.
8.
Padre's right. Like it shows the door in red if you haven't like crossed it yet. If you haven't went through it, then it shows a red line instead of a green line.
Padre's always right. Whenever he's wrong, he's never
Don't
wrong.
even question Padre. He always right. Don't even try to question him.
Even when he's wrong, he's right. Let's go. Let's go. But we can all agree that this game, you know, is well made for its genre, and we can all agree that a little tweakiness could be used with the battle system. So let me ask you
Not
guys.
only like there's only another point would be like the robots. You get 3 hits, right, and then you're dead. Like your entire game is not punishing. Why can I only take 3 hits, and why do the robots move so
hits
RPG makerish? Why?
The hits resets once you go to a different screen.
Yeah, of course it does, but
like you gotta get hit on the screen 3 times, but if you get hit once and you leave the screen, come back, it resets.
That's all good and fine, but my point is like the entire game you are never under any threat. So all of a sudden you're now getting game over screens more or less, right? It's
kind of robots. I got a few of them.
That's kind of weird. I think that's a little out of place.
And some maps, the robots could box you in, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, they move like RPG Maker-ish, right? They do this like step towards player thing that's completely weird.
It's because of the frequency on the event. If you set it to highest frequency, it's like a totally fluid movement. But if you set it to any of the others, it does like a stop and go type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it works because they're robots.
Yeah.
Like, thematically, it works. I just find it weird that the entire game has no punishment for failure, and all of a sudden you're running for your damn life.
But at least, though, when you do get killed by them, you reappear at, like, pretty much right before you got fucked up.
Yeah, that's cool. You're not losing any progress. I just found it kind of odd. Like, I would have... I don't know. I find the sequence is kind of weird. Like you're running around at your own pace and then solving this murder mystery because like there's nothing threatening you ever. Nothing can happen to you the entire game, right? And all of a sudden you have these RPG maker robots running after you, and it never feels like it's your mistake because of how the eventing works. You just get cornered by them.
Yeah.
Like these seven, like it never feels like it's really your fault. Like they can hit you because I believe it has pixel movement if I'm not mistaken. So the hitboxes are janked too a little bit. So I don't know. It never feels like it's really your fault if you get hit, and that's kind of.
Yeah, like it's really sensitive when they hit you. Like there's really nothing you can do as the player. And they're moving
if you
so.
Put a player touch trigger in.
Yeah.
And you have pixel movement, and the robot and you try to move on the same tile at the same time, it's gonna hit you despite you being like 2 meters away.
Exactly.
Yeah, it never feels like it's your fault. I mean, it is technically, but it doesn't feel like it.
Then when you're going to the creepy room, you know, running from the robots, you gotta push some boxes. and if you arrive at the screen at the wrong time and try to push the boxes, they're going to get you every time. Like they're going to hit you every time until you like gotta fake them out, which feels, you know, luck based in a way. They even get past them. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Harlequin really said, "Why do enemies in the RPG Maker game act like an enemy?"
Hey man, if you put a pixel movement plugin in your game and do everything in your power to make it not be RPG Maker like, then I expect your enemies to not be RPG Maker like. I'm sorry.
Man, that's crazy. All right, so who did you try to guess? Did any of you try to guess who did it?
No, I really stopped guessing because at one point I just realized my choices don't make a difference. So I'm gonna see who did it anyway. I don't have to guess. I cannot make a mistake.
What about you, Cychronic?
I thought at first that, I wanted to figure out who did it. At first I thought it was the one dude who was pissed and like didn't want you investigating, but it turns out it was his brother or whatever.
I thought the robot. I thought the robot did it.
But the robot was programmed because in the beginning,
Yeah,
in the beginning when the robot picked up the phone, the robot was given instructions. So is the robot the real killer or not? And so the person who gave the instructions is the real killer. So who was that?
Yeah, I thought the robot, you know, did the killing, which they didn't. The robot didn't kill them, you know. They said a human did, you know, because they was wearing slippers. I thought the wife, the one that hired you, did the killing. Like, told the robot to do that.
Man, you'd be such a bad cop, man.
No, I'm just saying, because she got upset.
You jailing the wrong people left and right.
She gave you a walkie-talkie. She gave you some earrings, a walkie-talkie, whatever, that she could communicate you.
That was weird too.
The whole way. And come on now, if she could hear you the whole time, she could hear the brother bribing you 68 grand. Like that was weird too. Like, your character is aware that she's wearing a fucking earring that's a walkie-talkie, and she's still taking the bribe. Like, what? Why? Yeah,
I don't know. That was a bit weird.
It's RPG Maker. That's what happens. You know, that's what happens when you're not I'm not gonna say the developer isn't a good writer. I think they got to the point where they knew they was probably running out of time and just made anything.
I mean, the character could have just slipped up. That's okay. I just found the earrings were kind of weird. Like, that's like spy level equipment. Why does she have that?
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing. Like, aren't we like what year we was in? We had to been like in the 70s, the 80s.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
the gravestone of the one that died was 1963, I believe.
yeah. I think
So
that
And, uh,
was
and you be
the
having
guy that did it.
earrings.
So we was in the 60s. We was in
Yeah.
the 60s. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
earrings that have a range of 100 rooms.
I only think it's 100 rooms in the game, to be
I mean,
honest.
that's what it says on the store page. I don't know. Didn't
Oh.
count.
I didn't
Might
feel like there
be.
was I didn't feel like there was 100 rooms. To me.
Might be, but hey,
Yeah, it says here like explore the mansion's 100 rooms for keys and clues. Like specifically, it's not 100 plus rooms or anything. It's exactly 100 rooms in the description. So I guess they counted it.
how long it took y'all to beat this game?
I didn't beat it.
It took me like 4.5 hours.
Okay, it took me about 3 hours.
Yeah, I played 1.5 hours.
I seen another YouTuber beat it in an hour and 40 minutes. But they probably played it once and did a replay. You
Probably. I
beat the
mean, if you
game in
know
an
what
hour.
you're doing, you can be done pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I usually play a little slower than most when I'm playing games.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a slow reader. Like that's pretty
Yeah,
clear. I
yeah.
think everybody knows that by now. So I'm taking my time.
Yeah, I'm the same way when I read. It's like I read slower, but I remember it. Like so that's rather than like scanning. Some people can like scan and read a whole
Yeah, I
paragraph.
kind of skim over things. Yeah. No, that's not what I'm doing. Like I'm reading every word carefully.
Yeah. I mean, overall,
I mean,
Lockheart
overall, it's still a
Indigo.
pretty good damn game, man. I mean, it's free now. Psychonic said it had a price tag at one point.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I think it had a good price, or I think it had a price tag at one point because I looked at the reviews, and I looked at some of the older reviews, and they said it was a good price for what it was and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I guess it had a price. I mean, it still deserves a price tag. Like I think it could, maybe $3 to $5 or something would definitely not be a bad buy.
Yep, I agree.
So, do you guys recommend this game to other players?
Yeah, I would recommend it to any player that likes this type of game. Yeah, this style of game and what it's about. And it actually isn't the type of game that I would normally play. I just but I did enjoy it and enough to play it all the way through. But yeah,
What about
I
you,
would
Harlequin?
recommend it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it to people who are into stories and like characters and stuff like that, and really who really like for people who prioritize story over everything else.
Yeah, and that's how I am too. Is I'm
Yeah,
stories.
that's not me really. Like I enjoy a good story, but I also need gameplay. Like if the gameplay is that weak, I'm not gonna finish it.
Gotcha. And I feel
But
the same.
I'd recommend it to people like Psychronic, yeah. If I know someone who's really into stories, then yeah, that's your game, man. If you like murder solving mysteries, then it's not your game because it's not really that.
Yeah. So I do recommend this game to other players. If you just want to play something casual, other than your typical RPGs, this is definitely could get some excitement out of you. It's not AAA. It's definitely indie-ish, but it's a nice little project for the developer to take on. And if you feel like you want to be a detective, play this game. Play it.
I mean, you can definitely do worse things for free in 5 hours than this game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's fucking free. There's literally no reason to not try it out.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we are now at the portion of the podcast where we put a price on this game. If it were in a commercial, if it was commercial, what would we pay for this game? It could be free too. You could keep it free, but if you feel like this game could have been a commercial game, we could give it a price. So I'm gonna start with the game picker. Iconic Games.
I'd probably say $3.99.
$3.99 says Sacronic. What about you, Harlequin?
Yeah, I say just 3. Like if it had like the actual like choices matter type gameplay, I would easily give it a 5 or more. But as a storytelling game that it is right now, I would not go more than 3. Cause it's a 5-hour story. Yeah, 3 sounds right with me.
So $3.99, and we got $3. I picked $2.99. $2.99, is it's $1 an hour. You could get an average of 2 hours, 3 hours in this game. So a nice little, small project to make a nice little side hustle for the developer. All right, so the average, so $9.98 divided by 3, $3.33, $3.32 if you round it off to the nearest tenth. So $3.33 that this game is worth. And I feel like, this is a prime example for games. People do say people make better horror games and stuff on RPG Maker. This is a prime example of the type of games that you could create with the engine besides RPGs. And I feel like, sometimes you may need a break from playing the knock noise games and just try something.
Oh man, can you imagine if that had a knock noise on every transition?
Oh man,
with those tiny rooms. Oh my god,
the value probably would have went higher for some people. They probably would have priced it. They probably would have priced it at $10. $10 for this game. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, we covered this game from start to finish, and message for the developer: keep doing what you're doing. I feel like you are a developer that has a vision and may create, good quality games.
Absolutely.
I feel like I want to see more of your work, especially in the RPG aspect of things, because when we review these games, guys, we're used to RPGs. You could bash RPGs all day long from start to finish. But games like this where we don't really play as much, we gotta get in a different mindset, and hey, we gotta rate a detective game, or we gotta rate a game show type game. You know what I mean? Like, cause we're so used to the RPGs. But RPG Maker, you could definitely feel it's made with the maker. Definitely see it, But at the same time, it was a nice little project. It was a nice little project. Soccer Gals, I do agree. This is a cool game, and it's free. It's free. So I did pin the link in the chat. So if you want to download the game for yourself, definitely download the game and let the developer know what you think about their game. And Riggy 2K3 says that they are going by Fangsoft now. So probably, you could keep track of the developer in their projects, their future projects, if you're interested. So anybody want to close out before we leave? And do you want to say like any announcements before we get out of here and go eat some fried chicken and some grapes and some watermelon and some Coca-Cola?
I mean, closing out is your job. But in the, as you said, with the use to RPGs, like I don't really mind playing other games. Like I've played so many space games on this podcast by now. I never play space games. I have no interest in that stuff. But I believe like you don't need to enjoy a genre to give it a fair like rating, a fair view at it, right? Like I wouldn't ever play a freaking detective game. Like I'm so much not into that stuff. But you can still see like this developer put care in this game and put a lot of effort in this game to make it a smooth experience. And I wouldn't even say it looks RPG Maker-ish. It looks Game Boy-ish, if anything. Like, of course, it's a 2D game. It's gonna be some resemblance of RPG Maker in there somewhere, but I believe it looks more like a proper like Game Boy game than it does RPG Maker.
Yeah, I agree with that. It looks more Game Boy like. I would just say, I think this developer. I look forward to seeing what if they keep making games. I think they definitely have a talent. I think this game looks. They did put a lot of care into it.
And it did what it set out to do. Like, aside from the weird level up interrogation skill that didn't really fit in there because it's not really an RPG. Why do I level up stuff? But aside from that, like, it had a clear goal and it accomplished that goal very well. It didn't feel like the game didn't know what it wanted to do, like so many other RPGs where it's just like, oh, this feature is cool, let's put it in the game for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, if they ever end up happening, joining our Discord and put up a submission, I'm totally down to give it a shot too.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so Doug, anything from you?
Oh no, I'm just wondering. So the next week are you picking the game next week, D7, or is it?
It is my pick. Then after my pick, it is the community game.
Awesome.
So, with that being said, guys, we want to appreciate each and every last one of you guys coming out to the first RTP podcast stream on our appropriate YouTube channel. Thank you guys for supporting us. I believe this is like episode probably 14. That means we've been running this for about 3 months now, and we already at 32 subscribers. So that's definitely letting us know that people been supporting us from the beginning, and that's amazing to see. So a few more subscribers, guys, we could definitely start doing community posts where we could post to the community, and if you want to make submissions and stuff like that, you could definitely join our Discord channel. The link is in the banner on the channel, or I'm going to put it in the description as well. So you can add, like, if you want to like request a game for us to play, you could do that there. So next week I will be picking a game, and after that it is a community game where we're going to spin a wheel, and whoever game gets picked, we're going to review it on the channel. And yeah, definitely don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends. They could catch the replay of it, and they could see the wonderful chat, and everything, so they're not missing a beat. And also appreciate, like I said, appreciate the support, and also look forward to the other members of the podcast releases. Synchronic Games with his Star Shift Empire, and Simple Gaming with the Dungeon Rummage Empire as well. So unfortunately, we gotta go mode because the podcast is over, and we will meet you again at 2 p.m. next week, every Wednesday.
Yeah. I have one more thing.
All right, go ahead.
As always, like the Discord is not only for people who want to submit their games, right? So you can join there. We have a whole community thing going on by now. Like, we helping each other out. We even got like optimized like core scripts for MV that improve performance, thanks to Ace of Aces and Chris. And like, yeah, we have a whole community going on. It's not only just about reviewing games. We also help each other out in questions and scripts and whatnot. So definitely make sure to join that up too if you're making any games.
That is true. We have on the Discord, with Ace of Aces help, that one game, Empire Chronicles. Ace of Aces helped the developer out tremendously, and especially help from other members of the community, where when you enter his skill scene, it took like 10 seconds to load. Now with the core scripts that optimize the game better, make it run more fluid, it takes less than a second to load. So definitely big improvements on people's projects.
Yeah, I've also tested it out on my project, and it has improved performance as well. I used to get like random little frame dips that would happen every like 10 seconds or something, and now that's gone away and it's fluid now. So yeah, it's definitely helped my game out too.
So we're telling you guys, if you are knowledgeable, you could definitely help us out, solve some of these bounties and stuff. And also we also have links for paid services and looking for paid services and starting up your own store or just help in general, for free. You don't have to pay, but you can always post your questions in the review forum. If you need help with a specific thing, Asher sequencing, or just gain help with your project in general. We got a lot of great masterminds over there, and we could use more. There's never enough.
Yes, there's a person for everything. Like, I can help with action sequencing. Jeff is great on the writing stuff. If you ever got like a writing question, like, Jeff is your man. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits for joining the Discord, like not only to submit your game, but also especially to participate in the community.
Yeah, because we're trying to expand RPG Maker community entirely. Like we want to do something different. We want to do something fun for the community. It's more like giving back. This is pretty much what this Discord, this podcast is for. It's like giving back, because a lot of you guys I can name on hand that definitely make my personal YouTube channel a blast. I wouldn't be here without you guys and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys affected us in some type of way, just like we affected you guys in some type of way. So definitely I appreciate everybody and everyone for their support, and everybody could grow from here, not just with the podcast, but with your own personal endeavors yourself. I wish success for each and every last one of you guys. And next week, you will see the next game that we are going to play at Wednesday 2 p.m. So y'all guys enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, and we will see you later.